As a beginner copywriter, when you're just starting out, it can be really difficult because you know you need to get better at copywriting, but you don't know exactly what to do. So that's what this video is for. I wrote an entire X thread on this about how to actually get better at copywriting, like the specific things you should do. And I thought it was really valuable, so I wanted to actually make an entire video about it. And if you're not following me on X, go ahead and follow me. I post tons of copywriting content on there. I'm a copywriter making 3K a month right now, just sharing my insights. And so that's a good place to kind of see where my thoughts are at. But yeah, so I get this question a lot. Jason, how do I get better at copywriting? And the short answer is there's a lot of things I do to get better at copywriting, but I'm gonna try to make this a very digestible way and concrete way that you guys can implement to get better at copywriting. So here's everything I do to master copywriting, okay? First thing, obviously, if you wanna get better at copywriting, you have to actually write copy every single day. And people ask me, Jason, what type of copy should I write for practice? I get that question so much. And the answer is all of them. Like, I don't want you guys to be one-dimensional. You shouldn't only do emails or only do VSLs. Like, make sure you know or at least have a baseline knowledge of how to write each piece. Because when you guys land clients, they're probably not just going to hire you for one thing, especially your first client. At least for me, I was doing kind of everything. So, yeah. And some things you definitely need to know how to write are headlines, bullets, emails, sales pages, VSLs, offer stacks, subject lines, content scripts, and many more. Like, there's so many things you can use copywriting for. Like I said, writing viral content scripts for TikTok, IG, X, YouTube, VSL, sales pages, emails. Like, there's so many things you can use it for. So you need to be well-rounded. And I know it can seem overwhelming, right? Like, there's so many things you need to learn how to write, and it's a lot of information to take in at once. But the key is just focusing on one thing at a time. Okay, just focus in on one thing. So if you want to get better at writing headlines, write 100 headlines, okay? If you want to get better at writing VSLs, write 10 VSLs, okay? Just focus on one thing at a time, really hone in on it until you feel like you have a good understanding of it, and then branch out, okay? And if I had to choose one piece of copy that I felt like was the most valuable, and when I was a super beginner, I'm still a beginner, but just when I didn't have any clients, if there was one piece of copy I would recommend you guys learn how to write, it would be sales pages. Okay, here's why. Sales pages incorporate everything. Okay, so in a sales page, you have to write a headline, you have to write sub-headlines, you have to write bullets, offer stacks, you have to write a lead, you have to write an about me section, an urgency section, scarcity section, social proof section. Like, there's so much that you write in one sales page that you're going to get so much better, so much faster if you practice doing sales pages. So I recommend everybody start with sales pages, and it's a good thing to do for outreach, which, by the way, I'm going to be making a video on soon, so stay tuned for that. Cold Outreach Masterclass. But yeah, the second thing I do to get better at copywriting is study copy, okay? Now, how do you do this? Well, I look at some of the best marketers today, right? And especially just the ones I personally like. And I read their entire sales page, okay? And the key here is you can't just read off their copy and just think that makes you better. You need to analyze why they wrote what they wrote, okay? You need to figure out things like what kind of traffic was viewing the copy, what's the new opportunity, how warm or cold is the traffic that's viewing the copy. Like, you need to take into account everything that for the reason on why they wrote the copy. If you just think you can just copy what Russell Brunson did in his headline and use it in your sales page and you don't know why, you're going to be screwed, and it's not going to work. So you really have to analyze why. And here are some of my favorite people to study. I like to study Iman Ghazi. I know he doesn't actually write his copy, but he's just a genius marketer, and his copywriters are really good. Russell Brunson, obviously. Dan Koh's a fantastic writer. Alex Hormozy, and there's so many more. One of my personal favorites is Ben Bader, in his company, 94 Marketing, because that's very similar to what I'm trying to do. So I like to study his funnel and the people that he has helped out with that agency. I like to study their funnels and see what they're doing. And that could go on forever. There's so many people I study. But if you really want to take it a step further, study their entire funnel, not just the copy, right? Studying copy is important. I really want you guys to do that. Like I literally sit down and I will take notes on like a sales page and like why they wrote. You guys saw one of my videos where I did that. But study their entire funnel, break down what they're doing, what their offer is. It's great practice, and it's probably the most valuable skill, more so than copy, is learning about funnels. So I highly recommend you guys do that. The third thing I do to get better at copywriting is I read books, right? And I view reading as something that compounds a lot over time. So, the day after I finish a book or the day after I read a chapter, I'm probably not going to notice the benefits of that book immediately, okay? I view reading as something, like I said, that's something that like just compounds over time. So if I stack 10 books, if I read 10 books from great marketers, then the message and the themes that they give me are all going to be ingrained in my brain, because they're kind of saying the same thing. Like when the people that know how to market. So if you read 10 great marketing books, they'll have some different insights, but overall you're going to get the key, core messages ingrained on your brain. And that's huge, okay? And so here are 6 must-read books if you're a copywriter, okay? First of all, Take Their Money. Fantastic book on actually the language of copywriting. That should be the first book you read. Second is the Secret series by Russell Brunson. So .com secrets, expert secrets, traffic secrets. This is more general marketing overall, more so than writing the actual copy, but super fantastic. Great to learn about funnels. And next would be $100 million Offers and $100 million Leads by Alex Hormozi. These are great general business books. They're not like written to talk about copy. They're not necessarily written to talk about, specifically marketing, but just business in general. They're fantastic books. If you're a copywriter and you haven't read those 6 books, get on it, because your competition is. And, if you're going up against somebody who has the knowledge of these 6 books, you're going to lose, most of the time. So super important. But books don't matter if you don't actually incorporate what they're saying. So make sure you read a book and really digest it. Read it twice if you have to, and actually implement what they're saying in your day-to-day. And that's how you actually benefit and see that compound growth from the books you read. So the fourth thing I do to get better at copy is iteration, okay? This is probably the most important thing. Nothing I mentioned above matters unless you iterate. Now, what does that mean? Iterate means you reflect on what you've learned and actually implement it into your process, okay? So you read the books, you write the copy, you study the copy, and then you take a look back and you're like, okay, this is what I could do better here. This is what I liked about what I did. This is what worked in this sales page, whatever. And you iterate it for the next time, okay? This is huge. You have to do this. If you don't, you just have wasted knowledge, okay? And so iterate. I can't stress this enough, guys. Iterate. If you do all this stuff and you don't iterate, you're actually kind of stupid, because that means you're not learning from your mistakes and you're not implementing the new stuff that you learn into your day-to-day. So make sure you do that. The fifth and final thing, try to make this quick, is cycle, okay? This is kind of fun, okay? Have fun here. Make this into your own little get better cycle. And I'll just give you what worked for me. So what I did was at least every single day, okay, I could do more, and most of the time I did do more, just, discretion, but I would write 1 piece of copy per day, study 1 piece of copy per day, read for 30 minutes a day, and then iterate, kind of reflect on what I learned and try to implement it into the next day. And so what I want you guys to do here is create your own cycle. So whatever that is for you, maybe it's write 5 pieces of copy a day and study a piece of copy every other day. It just depends on what you want to do. Create your own cycle that you can go after and try to accomplish every single day. And if you do that and iterate after every single cycle, you know this by now, but if you do that, guys, you will get so much better. Your knowledge will be so much deeper than you even think is possible. Okay, so create your own cycle. This is literally how growth compounds. You create your own cycle, you have fun with it, and most importantly, you take action. And if you do that for a long enough period of time, you're gonna freaking kill it. So that's pretty much it. Those are the 5 things I do to get better at copywriting. And if you guys have any questions, if you want one-on-one direct access to me to fire away at any copywriting questions, anything, you could ask me about life. I love giving you guys advice. I love helping you guys out in any way I can. So feel free to follow me on Instagram It'll be in the description, and shoot me a DM. And if you want to see more content like this, like I post stuff like this every single day, follow me on X. That'll also be in the description, but that's a great way to really, it's like mini YouTube videos, okay? I'm really just putting my thoughts out on paper. So if you guys like this, follow me on X.